Okay, here's my problem with everything. I mean, what I've always kind of had a hard time with is no matter what you do, no matter what you think, you're still going to get back to that singular goal of, you're going to die. I mean, that's kind of the end of all logical thinking is death. Because you can be as logical as you want, but then death brings you to that irrational point where nothing else makes sense. And logic has no answer for you because you can be like, okay, so I'm going to live, I'm going to do all these things in between, and then I'm going to die. Like everything I do in between life, wait, on this side for you guys, life and death, it's all going to end in the same place. I mean, you might die richer, you might die poor, but honestly, it doesn't really matter when you're dead. So, you have to think, okay, how can I have meaning to my life? Everyone's always searching for meaning. If you've noticed that, everybody needs their magical meaning to life. And it's like, okay, if I want to have meaning to my life, I can, live and give to the future and give to people in the future. And that'll give my life some kind of meaning. And it's like, does it? Because all those people, they're going to die. They're going to live and they're going to die. All that meaning that you gave them, they're going to live and die, and that's going to go away. And they'd be like, oh, but the meaning I gave them will pass on, but those people are going to die. It's going to be one continuing dying of your meaning. It's going to be diluted every single generation. And then, to top it all off, when the sun explodes, if we haven't made it into outer space yet, then it'll all be wiped out. Then it'll all be for nothing. So then it's like, what's the point? Why is there life? Why is there consciousness? Why do people think? Why am I even talking about this right now? Honestly. And then it leads you to all kinds of weird conclusions, and that's why I think maybe the universe is just bored, and it was like, hey, I'll be a person, and I won't know that I'm the universe, but if I think about it, I'll really figure it out. And then it's like, what if you realize that you are, one with the universe, and you realize that you are basically, I guess, God, if you consider God the universe. I mean, what do you get from that? I mean, nothing. You realize the jig's up, and then it's like all the fun's taken out of life. And then you're just like, okay, I figured the game out, and now the game's still going, but I know the game, but I don't want to play the game, because the game is not to know what's going on. So, it's like all these people are living, all these people are being alive, all these people are trying to make their lives mean something. That's all that really matters. Like, people want to mean something. I mean, some people just want to experience life, but it's like, you just rack up a bunch of experiences as well. I mean, you can either try to find meaning to your life, that's what some people do, and some people try to experience things. It's like life is only right now, and life is only what you can experience, and life is this, like right this second. Oh, it's gone. Woo. But yeah, I mean, but then again, it's like, after that experience is gone, life is just kind of crap again. I mean, life can be, like, why wouldn't you want to end your life? Because if you're having a bad experience, like, I'll just end it, because if life is bad experiences, then I'll just end it. Like, what keeps me from not ending it? Maybe ending will be a bad experience that I want to experience that. Who knows? But if you think about it, all rational thought, it leads you nowhere, because life has no rational meaning in its own. Life has no inherent meaning, maybe. And then when you get down to the bottom of it, it's like, it's all irrational, weird crap. It's like, I want to be live, I want to mean something, I want to have relationships with people, I want to have friends, I want to play video games and watch movies and be a person. And that's why would you want to do that? It's because it's irrationally programmed into you. And so basically all logical thinking is based off irrationality, which is pretty funny, because if you think about it, all of your rational thoughts, they're based off of irrational things. Like, even if you break it down to like, oh, I need to eat. I need to eat so I can stay alive. That's very rational. But why do you want to stay alive? It's very irrational. It's very subjective. It doesn't really make any sense. So, all logic is based off of rationality, and all irrationality is maybe based off some logic that's behind the scenes kind of controlling everything. Because, the whole, like, I might have talked about this before, but you know how you're just a vehicle into the future for your memes and your genes, But it's like, what's the point of that? And then I just feel like I'm being used. And then it's like, I'm just a freaking nothing. Whatever the hell is making me up and whatever is inside of me, what's ever been inside of my progenitors, I can't think right now. But the people who gave birth to me, like, that's the same force that's pushing everything forward. And it's like, I'm not living for you, asshole. Like, I'm not living so you can go forward. I'm living because I'm alive. And maybe there's some afterlife or some before life that I don't know about where I was like, yeah, I want to be alive. Dang it. And I was like, put me in. I'll agree to all the terms and not remember anything. Maybe that's a thing. And if so, who knows? And maybe there are some answers after death, but to think that I'm alive so my genes can pass on, and just to think that I'm just a puppet, like I'm just a vehicle, and to think there's no point, just to think the universe is bored one day and the universe is like, I want to make existence happen, I want to make existence a thing so I can know who I am and I can play this game where I don't realize that I'm everything that ever exists and I can have a consciousness, so it'll make life more interesting because I don't really have one. And then it's like, oh, I'm being used. It's like, we're always being used. And like, animals are being used to be eaten for food. Like, we're being used. Like, the governments are using everyone. Everyone's using everyone. People in love relationships are using people for affection, and they're using people for security. And everything is a big usury system. And it kind of makes me sick. And I kind of have to think that I don't live for you, and I don't live for anybody. I don't live for the universe. I don't live for my genes. I don't live for anything. I don't live for any ideology, any philosophy, any religion. I live for myself, because I have to be alive, I have to live, and I have to die my own death. So I live for me. And that doesn't mean I'm going to take advantage of other people and not let them live for themselves either. Because I respect other people because they have to go through the same thing I do. But I'm not going to sacrifice myself to nothingness. I'm not going to sacrifice myself to the universe or whatever the hell is propagating existence forward into the future through this dimension of whatever. And I like being alive and I like being me. And I think I have value in myself, and I think everyone has value. And to sell yourself off, even if it doesn't mean anything, maybe it means everything to mean something to yourself. And sure, meaning is subjective, but holy shit, I'm alive. Now what? I mean, you know?